Adam's Furniture Restoration here today, and I'm going to do a review on the Chicago HVLP spray gun. This is sold by Harbor Freight. So let's start with what's on the box. It says it has a built-in self-contained electric turbine compressor. It creates and amplifies the airflow. Well, it does do that very well. High volume, low pressure spray guns get better transfer and efficiency, So that is true. Any HVLP, unless it's a total piece of junk, is very, very good with not wasting your lacquer or whatever material you are going to use, because it eliminates a lot of that overspray. So you're not going to have stuff going everywhere. Just the way that the gun works itself, it really keeps and maintains it. It's a real miser with the material. Very, very efficient. Let's see. Adjustable spray patterns. Well, yes and no. So the fan, it's set. It is what it is. It's only going to spray certain width. You can twist it and make it go vertical or horizontal if you want to. So the screw here on the back, this is more for adjusting the amount of fluid that's going to come out. If you make it real tight, yes, it's going to give you a circular pattern, but I mean, realistically, it's going to come out on a pin at that point. No one's going to spray it like that. So this is more for just the flow of the material itself. What else is on here? Sprays light, medium, heavy stains. I don't do any of that. I'm only going to spray lacquer and sealer out of this thing. That's all I've been spraying with it so far. It's been working very well. 89% transfer efficiency, whatever. It is a quart, so it holds plenty of material, and like I said, it is a miser with it, so it's very good on not wasting material for you. Real short list. I'm going to make this super quick. It is very light. Most of it's plastic. The only metal you're going to find in this thing is the screw here, the handle there, the tip there, maybe a couple screws holding the turbine together, and the copper on the cord for it to plug it in. Other than that, this thing's going to be pretty much plastic. Let's see. It does atomize very well. I haven't had any issues with that yet. The price can't be beat. I mean, Harbor Freight usually has that 20% off coupon. It's going to cost you $100. You cannot beat that, $100. Now, obviously, if you can spend up to $2 grand, over $2 grand on an HVLP. There's much better ones out there on the market. You're going to get what you pay for, but for the price, this thing works very, very well. One of the things I don't like about it is the fan, that you can't adjust the width of it. You can't make it wider or skinnier. Like I said, you can use this screw, but it really doesn't work that well. Let's see, the other thing. Okay, so I already have material in here. So let me pull this out and show you. The one thing I don't like is that white grommet right in there, that seal. It's cheap. It's a real piece of crap. Now, I've been using this thing for about a little over 2 months. I have not had any issues with it other than that grommet. So they have replacement parts, but realistically, what I'm going to do, I've got some leather from a leftover project. I'm just going to trace it out, cut it, and make my own seal. It's going to work a million times better. Sometimes with Harbor Freight, you got to modify their tools because they're very simple. They're very inexpensive. It is what it is. Okay. The other thing I am not a big fan of is, you see over here, the way this hose fits in the turbine, it just goes in and twists. So if you don't set it up right, you can be in the middle of a job and it can just kind of twist and fall out. So, I mean, that's an easy fix with some duct tape or something like that, you know, if you really want to get into it. I don't think it's necessary, but it's totally up to you. The other thing with this gun is the same with any gun. You've got to keep it clean. It is plastic, it's not metal, so if it sits around, the lacquer dries, you get to soak it in lacquer thinner, you're really risking a better chance of damage because it's plastic. So I'm not going to take this apart. It's absolutely unnecessary. So down in there's a hole that'll feed all the way through. That's the one thing that when I clean the gun, I always make sure I get very well. So I'll put some lacquer and thinner in there and I'll shake it around. And then I'll flip this upside down because the thinner will feed through that hole and wash it out. So you don't want that to collect because that's going to start to clog the airflow of the from the turbine, and it's not going to spray right. It's going to start to clog and get real crappy. The only issue I ever had with spraying anything was I was spraying some primer, and primer dries really fast in general. So as I was spraying it was starting to clog up on the tip. But I mean, I've had that happen with much more expensive HVLPs as well. It's sort of unavoidable. But the other thing is the hose here. It connects right in the back. I mean, that's not a hot design. You would prefer it to go in there, but like I said before, it's a $100 gun. What do you expect? It's no big deal. I haven't had any issues with this yet. It hasn't gotten loose or anything. If it did, I would probably just pack it with some duct tape and just shove it right back in there. So, without any further ado, what I'm going to do is, I've already got some lacquer mixed in here. I'm just going to spray this table base real quick, just to kind of show you how it works, for those of you that don't already know. So for the lacquer, I just have a satin lacquer in there with a little fisheye killer and a little retarder. So this gun comes with a couple different needles depending on what you're spraying. As I said before, I'm mostly going to spray lacquer. I'm not going to spray stain or whatever else you can put through a gun. I'm just not going to get all into that latex and things like that. It's just not the type of work that I do. So I did not replace the grommet yet, so I'm really going to crank this thing on tight. I had an issue yesterday when I was spraying sealer on a table, or as I was spraying like this, it started to leak out of there. So I'm just going to crank this down tight until I cut myself a new seal. All right. So one thing that's nice about the hose, it is 15 feet. So that's pretty substantial. You're not really going to need much more than that for any project you're going to do. But, I'm just going to hold this, plug it in, rock and roll. One thing I'll mention before I spray: as soon as you turn it on, it's going to immediately spray air out of the front there. Some people, when they get them, they think they're broken. That's just how this works. A higher end gun will have the different sets on the trigger, where when you pull it in slightly, it'll release the air. Then when you pull it all the way, it'll let the material come out. This one shoots it out automatically. So if you're not familiar with this thing and you get one, it's not broken. It's just how this one works. Like I said, it's $100. And that'll do it. Like I said, this thing works very well for the price. I've had it for a little over 2 months. Haven't had any issues with it. Number one thing, like any gun, keep it clean. If you have any questions, hit in the comment. If you like, subscribe. If you don't like, subscribe. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.